how are you guys doing? Welcome to Mission 5 of Starcraft 2 Wings of Liberty on Brutal difficulty. Now, in the previous level that we played, we unlocked the Firebat that was first introduced in Starcraft 1 back in the day and was incredibly powerful, not as powerful in my opinion in the Starcraft. In this one,
the Zerg severely outnumber the Protoss forces. It is likely the Protoss will fall shortly.
After I'm done being interrupted.
Then we've got to get that artifact before the Zerg overrun the whole place.
Warning. Protoss stalkers are gathering at our perimeter.
The doctor is in.
Incoming transmission.
I got something new for you, cowboy. Marauders, the latest word in big bada boom hardware.
I ain't sure this is the best time to be experimenting, Swan.
Best time there is. Let the Marauders loose against those stalkers and you'll see. Been waiting on you.
Okay, now time for experimentation.
This better be good. Boy. You gonna give me orders?
Okay, so that pretty much sums it up. What is special about this level is the fact that we get introduced to the mighty Marauders, probably one of the strongest ground units that you will ever find in StarCraft 2. Especially for the fact that they've got 10 extra damage versus armored units, so they are killing machines when it comes to taking on units like roaches, stalkers, siege tanks, or almost anything armored on the ground. So, for this level, pretty much like the previous one, we need to get all of these Protoss relics in order to benefit from the upgrades later on in the game.
Yes, sir.
You eventually, once you've collected too many and unlocked all of the upgrades, you get extra cash, which is actually quite nice. So there are 4 of these relics that we need to find as a bonus objective. But the main objective is to get that relic. So we have to battle through a bit of terrain before the Zerg does. So,
Warning. Incoming Zerg attack wave detected.
In the rear with the gear. Huh?
Need some triage? Nice.
you will notice that the enemy loves to target the medics now as well. It is a very smart move on their behalf, because that is what makes our army strong, is the medics.
This better be good.
So you will notice that I'm building supply depots over here, and as you notice, the Zerg do attack from time to time. The reason behind this is, since we are moving out, we need to keep our base intact. And the only way to do that, of course, is to build probably about 2 bunkers or so, and have a nice ground army to go with that. So before moving out, we need to get our basics sorted out. And also, very important to note, we've got the Merc compound. We've got the war pigs for free, and they are incredibly strong marines, so we can have 3 of them for 250 once the cooldowns are completed. I didn't upgrade the devil dogs because I'm just not a massive fan of the fire bats in the campaign, so I'm not going to be wasting my money on that unless I've got extra, which I highly doubt. Also, for upgrades for this level that I made was medics being able to be made without the tech lab, so that is going to be especially useful for the future levels to come. Also, I did upgrade the bunker range fire. That is also going to be handy, especially for levels where we have to face against void rays and such units. So after this attack, we're going to move out in order to secure the relic that is located to the left side.
Is it critical? Need some triage.
In order for us to avoid losing medics, we need to use a little bit of micromanagement, and we should be safe. Gas is pretty much sorted out for us.
You gonna give me orders?
For this attack, it might be a good idea for us to get some war pigs as well.
You gonna give me orders? Looking forward to it.
Come on. Oh, we're not. Let's just take a shot. They are going to be targeting our medics, so losing 1 or 2 medics is not too bad. Oh, maybe not losing anyone at all. How much micromanagement can help?
Not enough to remove.
Who wants some? This armed and ready. Been waiting
Okay, so as you can see, they've got 2+ damage towards the normal Marine, and they've also got a little bit more life than the Marine. So it doesn't seem like a lot, but they are actually much stronger than normal Marines. As you can see that there are a couple of stalkers, so we just kind of want to catch their attention to come out and play.
Please be standing by.
This better be good. In the rear with the gear.
Build a barracks to fill that gap. And let's get rid of these mofos. We don't want to stay too long, we want to get moving back as quickly as possible. Just in case the Zerg do decide to send out an attack.
Been waiting on you. Who won? Ready. By the numbers, boys.
Okay, so before we move out again, we're going to just get a couple of our forces up and running, get some extra shit, and be careful of attack like those. And that is exactly what I was waiting for before I wanted to move out. We are probably gonna lose that supply depot, unless... we are fast enough. Brilliant. Okay, so since that attack is over and done with, we can start moving out, but at the same time, we need to keep on making units, because the Zerg are going to be coming for another attack while we are out. We've got our upgrades up and running, resources are moving in relatively fast, make a couple of extra supply depots.
Additional supply depots required.
Will do.
And from here on out,
Been waiting on you.
we can do some nice damage.
By the numbers, boys.
Now you'll notice that the Marauders at this stage don't have stim pack. That is an ability that will be unlocked later on in the game, but is freely available once you go into multiplayer mode.
You gonna give me orders?
Also, another interesting thing to note about the Marauders is they've got very nice range. So in a case like this, for an example, we are going to make use of them to get rid of these pylons in order to, not have any casualties. We've got a problem with a High Templar over here, so for those of you who might not know, Protoss has got the ability to make use of Psionic Storm. It is an incredibly strong attack from the Protoss. That exact thing. And it especially works well against masses of units, and especially in the Terran's case, because, we've got ranged attacks, and Terran, even though they do have kiting, which is probably the best ability that they can make use of, they often get caught in situations where 2 or 3 Psionic Storms can wipe out an entire army.
Sure. That's fun.
Aha.
You gonna give me orders?
I'm ready for y'all motherfuckers.
This better be
Okay,
good.
we want to send those units to help and fight over here. Target the pylon. Use a couple of units, it's not too bad.
By the number. You gonna give me orders? This better. Been waiting on you.
Need some tree. Please state the nature of your medicine.
Building a missile turret is not too important, but a little bit of extra defense is not going to hurt.
Better be good.
And we are already nearing the end of this level. Now,
Waiting on you. By the
we need
number.
to run through a Protoss base
And ready.
over here, and they do have a couple of forces, but not too many. The greatest concern is that Archon. Now, Archons do extra damage against bio units, and that is a major deal, especially for the fact that our army consists of biological units. Now, there are not so many Archons, but what makes them incredibly powerful is the fact that they do splash damage against units that are bunched up like this.
By the number.
So you want to take them down as quickly as you possibly can in order to avoid too many casualties.
You gonna give me
Now fortunately we do have medics to make use of, but in multiplayer cases you have to make use of the medevacts that are also quite nice, but expensive. Now in a case like this, as you notice that the Protoss have got that very nice shield, so what that actually reduces any damage done to the units in the ground by 2. Once again, it doesn't sound like a lot, but in Starcraft terms, that is really a lot. So if you can help yourself, you want to get rid of Protoss sentries as quickly as possible. They are expensive to build, so it's a major loss for the Protoss if they do lose too many of their sentries. And we are about to get the last relic. Actually, we're just going to use a Stimmering. And then afterwards start with the final battle.
You gonna give me orders? Looking forward. Oh yeah. This better be good. Outstanding. Who wants?
Okay, so this last fight we're going to be fighting against these statues that are very similar to the Protoss Colossi. Now, the Protoss Colossi are probably one of the strongest units that you can get in the game, especially once again for massed and bulked up units like this. You're going to notice how this works. They've got this laser that does a shit ton of damage. Now, these aren't nearly as strong as the Colossi, but the idea to work against the Colossi if you've got an army like this is to spread your units out just a slight bit so that they can target the units in front.
I got a crew coming down to pick up the artifact.
We got what we came for. Let's hightail it out of here.
I forgot how resourceful you were, Jim. I won't make that mistake twice.
Kerrigan.
Alright, that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Smash and grab mission 5 of StarCraft 2 Wings of Liberty. This was another one of the quicker levels to play and also not as difficult, but nonetheless it can be tricky if you are unsure how to approach it, especially on brutal difficulty. The game is now slowly but surely starting to intensify and become a lot more interesting and difficult to play, so we are nearing some of the more exciting levels, so don't forget to stay tuned for those. And if you haven't watched the previous videos of these tutorials, please be sure to go and take a look, leave a comment or so, tell me if you like it or not and where it can improve. And as always, please like and subscribe. Stay tuned for the next upcoming tutorial videos. Keep well, everyone.